PHCC isn't just for the newbies or people just getting into it. It also is for the kind of updating of the people who have been in it for a while. So even a guy like Uncle Joe would probably move it up. I've been doing plumbing for 47 years, I think it has been. So I probably could use a code update class. I'd probably be shocked, Mike, if I had to look at the new codes. That would
We'll
be in
we'll
there, right?
we'll we'll battle it out. Why not we do Joe versus and then whoever at the next
You know
trade show?
what? I'm going to come over to the code update class and see how good I would do. I bet I would get at least 20%. I think I know the old school way, but I definitely have a lot to learn. I'd probably be ashamed of my update needed status for sure. No doubt about it.
Please welcome America's service sales coach, Joe Crisara.
Welcome to the Service MVP Podcast, the show that helps home service professionals master high-value sales, build stronger client relationships, and grow their business like never before. Join industry experts as they share real strategies that drive results. If you're ready to level up your service game, you're in the right place. Let's get started.
It's the Service MVP Podcast.
Thank you for listening and watching the Service MVP Podcast. I want to give you a copy of my free book. Just click on the link below in the description and one will be sent to you from me personally. Thank you so much for listening. Welcome to the Service MVP Podcast, and my name is Joe Crisara, America's Service Sales Coach. And today we are having a great guest of ours, Mr. Mike Prencavage, who is the president of PHCC Orange County and also has now elevated himself to a national position in the PHCC. Mike, welcome to the podcast.
Yeah, thanks, Joe. I appreciate it. And we go back a little ways, don't we?
Yeah, we do. We commingle in the same circles, and I've been to your gala events, and you've been to some of our stuff. We've been to the PHCC trade show. We've been having booths out there at the trade show and things like that together. So I've even met Tony, one of the main guy up in the national office and things like that. So definitely, I'm a major advocate for PHCC, as you know. Why don't you just to this episode is basic. I think we're going to call this episode "How to Develop and Grow Technicians and People in the Field in the Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Industry." Mike, you want to go ahead and give us a primer on what PHCC is? Because I think maybe PHCC for dummies, so everybody can kind of understand how they would access this great resource for the plumbing and heating and cooling industry?
Absolutely. Well, first of all, PHCC is an easy acronym to remember, but it does stand for Plumbing, Heating, Cooling Contractors Association of America. And, it stands alone in and of itself. So PHCC is it is the oldest trade association in the United States. And I think it's important to understand that there's a lot of history with the association. It's seen new development, new technology, new government relations issues that have been tackled. A lot of the stuff I always tell people, when somebody asks me what is PHCC all about, I always interlude into we are a government advocacy group, we are a technical training group, and we also do business development, but more so we provide benefits back to the contractors across all 50 states. So we're not just localized here in California. We're all across the United States, including Hawaii as well. We have at-large members and actual chapters, which you can physically visit and take a look at what each local chapter has to offer. But it's a great association. I've been involved for too many years. I think I mentioned to you, I was like, it's been over 10 years now that I've been involved with PHCC, but it's just a great association, great members, contractor members, affiliate members from across all walks, including tool manufacturers, vehicle manufacturers, technology that maybe we've seen at trade shows that haven't been fully developed yet. Those companies are involved with PHCC in some form or fashion. So it's a great association to be a part of. And yeah, I'm excited to answer any questions and dive into it. I live, breathe, and eat PHCC, so I'm all about that.
Good, good. Well, you also have another side job called the Family Plumber too, which is a whole company of its own that you and your family run too, right, Mike?
That is, yeah. And so the family plumber started, I'm a second generation business owner, very proud to be one. And my dad started a company a little over 40 years ago. We've been in business, now incorporated for over 40 years. And we're based here in Los Alamitos, California. If you don't know where that's at, it's between Long Beach and Huntington Beach, two
Mhm.
major cities here in Southern California. But yeah, the challenges of running a business, we've been scaling year over year. It's been a blessing. It's also a curse at times, I will say. Owning a business can be, as we know in 2025, can be easy. It can be tough at times, but really, what we stand alone on is our ethics, and I think that that's huge, especially in the contractor trade in general, not just plumbing, HVAC, but when you design processes behind a business that are successful processes, keep those going. Keep everything, really focus driven on your employees, your customers. But I always say, and my dad's always said, when you're developing a business, whether it's plumbing or anything, it has to be a win-win-win all the way around. It has to be a win for you, has to be a win for your customer, and it has to be a win for your employees. So we've been very blessed to have the family plumber grow, and we're going to continue to grow. So yeah, my little side hustles turned into quite a little social experiment, I guess, if you will.
Right, right. Hey, let's talk. Let's make those two worlds collide during this podcast. The family plumber and PHCC. There's other people who are the family plumber, and they're around the whole country who have their own family business that does plumbing. So tell me how. Number one, the first question will be, how does the family plumber or any plumbing company benefit? Tell us the cycle or of involvement, because the PHCC in general is a people development organization. It's at its primary core is to take new people and bring them into the industry and let them become experts eventually to develop experts in this business. Am I on the right page there? Am I speaking from the hymnal?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think just to dive a little bit deeper on that is that an association like PHCC, I never really understood the value of networking. And I think that being able to network within an organization, every single member within PHCC understands that they're obligated to work alongside other contractors. They may be competitors in your space, but who better to talk to about some of the challenges that you're frustrated with as a business owner trying to grow your business? Why try to reinvent the wheel? So what I've actually learned with PHCC is that the networking side of things is huge. And what you find is, just like any plumbing technician would, you go, you do you're book smart, but you're also street smart in some ways. And I think that that correlates pretty well with business. As you're growing business, yes, there's the principles behind, proper financials, things like that. But there's the unforeseen things, especially like in a local setting. What are some of the obstacles, whether it be pricing, whether it be, technology, what's working best? That when I joined PHC, that was really what I was after is where can I take a lot of the mistakes that I know I'm going to make off the table
Mhm.
and just learn from people that have already done it. And so
So the
these
peer-to-peer
associations are great for
the
that.
peer-to-peer group, that number one, one of the primary benefits is that you before you make mistakes, you can run it past a member who's tried it and maybe can tell you the pluses and minuses of anything from marketing to training to the right vendor.
Yeah.
So if you're in this business and you're looking for some feedback before you make a choice, so you can make a wise one. That's probably the one of the biggest financial benefits you can make is
Huge.
to avoid an expensive mistake. Would you say that's a fair way of summarizing all that?
Oh yeah, I'd love to add up all the mistakes I've missed out on, proudly missed out on because somebody said, and I think you've told me quite a few of them, so I commend you for saving me money on mistakes. So
Well, you know
it's
what? I think it's a great thing to do. Maybe we should make a list of all the things we've avoided from because PHCC has helped to guide us away from those bad decisions. Instead, we should add it all up. Maybe have a meter that runs on our websites telling us how much money they saved us. Tell us about the people development part. 'Cause I think that's part that's a little lost. I think when I was there at the facility, in Orange County. I saw a great laboratory with great instructor who's over there. What's his name? The guy I
Uh,
missed. Who?
Doug Allen,
Doug,
actually.
yeah, a great,
Yeah.
great guy who's a veteran in the industry, and he's teaching all these younger or new technicians how to get their seasoning and from a real plumbing professional. Tell us a little bit about that, and how does PHCC help companies develop those people? What's that cycle look like for an average company?
Yeah, so what kind of gets missed as you start to grow a plumbing company is, plumbers don't just come off the street and all of a sudden have 20 years of knowledge, on how to do actual plumbing, not just the personality skills with the customers.
And
That's
can I just say something? I'm gonna call it time
yeah.
out there. And if they did, they would poison your company.
Oh, yeah,
If
absolutely. I mean, bad
you did get
habits.
somebody, you got some guy who's been around for 20 years and he's going to join my place. He's probably going to not be able to do all the, here's an iPad, use Service Titan. He's like, what? Yeah, he wouldn't be able to even navigate that most likely. So go ahead and continue. I don't want to make sure that if you hire the experienced people, we all know you have to unlearn that person and then get them trained again. It's much harder to train somebody who has been doing it for a long time a different way than somebody who's never done it before. Would you say that's true,
Oh,
Mike?
yeah. It's a classic, can't teach a dog old dog new tricks type thing, and I've seen that. I've said, you know what, I've found the perfect diamond in the rough, and then it ends up being like a virus in your company at times. So yeah, no, absolutely. And
I want everybody to come to the next Total Immersion, the life-changing event where you increase your sales and your personal growth. What should we do?
And so where PHCC kind of really puts a stamp on things is that, especially a small business owner, as I started to grow, I didn't have the personal time to sit there and spend time training and going over what to touch, what not to touch, what will inevitably lead to a flood, which is always the worst case scenario, or a gas leak or something like that. Some of the cognitive things that as you've been doing it for years and years, you start to grow is like, you never walk away with doubt in your mind. Always go back to the job site and triple, double check, do whatever you have to do to make sure that everything you left on the job site's safe, it was installed properly, and better yet, I mean, if you're pulling permits on jobs, you want to make sure that you pass inspection the first time. You don't want to go 4 times in before all of a
Mhm.
sudden there's definitely an issue going on. So PHEC does the technical training side of it. It's the one of only a couple state accredited 4-year apprenticeship programs to earn a journeyman's card. So we have locations all throughout California, and definitely been a huge asset to send my guys to school. They get the proper training. Also, they do it in a controlled environment. I think that's so important. When you're out trying to train an apprentice on somebody's actual house, I mean, first of all, it probably doesn't look 100% well if you're not doing it properly, and the customer is actually seeing that transpire. They're probably questioning, what kind of experience does this person have? So it's great to actually have them in a controlled environment like a trade school like PHC. I think
So,
that,
so you have new plumbers who are learning the trade, and they get to kind of try things out in a controlled environment that's not a consumer's house or a customer's house first, and make those mistakes with Doug, I assume, as opposed to making them in somebody's house to flood or create a fire hazard in
yeah, we don't
somebody's
want
home. Those are some of the mistakes that PHCC can help you avoid. That's a great one there. So how long does it take to take a guy who's just like, and I assume that the company brings PHCC a person and says, can you develop this one? Or how does that cycle work for the company? How does that, if
yeah.
I was a plumbing company, how would I use PHCC the best way? Can you tell me what that cycle looks like so you can demystify that for the people? Like, why
Yeah.
would I join PHCC? I want to try to open the box up and let people look inside so they know what does it look like when you're actually utilizing this service for your
Yeah.
company, besides the networking, which is a great one. Now, how
Yeah.
are we going to get those people developed? What's that look like?
Yeah, so technical development is huge. Obviously, with the trade school program, it can be a little overwhelming, I will say. You're like, well, I have an apprentice with no experience, or maybe I have a potential candidate that's going to join my company that has a couple years of experience or maybe 20 years of experience. For PHCC in general, every single trade school has different levels, in which case they can actually test up to a higher level if they already have experience out in the field. So what I would suggest doing if you're a business owner is first look towards your local PHCC chapter. Try to find the executive director. The executive director actually is in charge of most of the operations when it comes to that local chapter. So they're going to have all the information, such as application for student enrollment, and they can really get you on the first step to enrolling students, as well as maybe getting even more involved in leadership in the local chapter. We're always looking for leaders at PHCC, by the way. So throw that out there as well. If you're a business owner and you want to get involved in a board and really learn the operational side of an association, we're all ears. We love to bring more on. But also, as far as a business goes, you can sponsor an employee, which is what we do. So we actually pay the tuition cost every single year for all of our guys to go to school. I think for me personally, it's a choice, but it's a choice that I feel we're investing in their future, and also I'm investing in not making mistakes. So, for the cost of tuition, most chapters anyway, the annual tuition cost ranges from $3,500 up to $5,500 for an entire year. That's a drop. That's a drop in the hat, for a company. I feel like anyway, if you're charging appropriately, you can factor all that into your base flat rate. I think it's important as a company that you provide that as a benefit to your employee. But it is optional. So, as a company, I can provide that, or I could just be a straight up sponsor, a member sponsor, and my student can go to school and he can pay out of pocket for it, or she can pay out of pocket for it. So.
I see. So you're flexible in that way. It doesn't have to be the company. If you got somebody who's a self-starter and wants to do it themselves, they can pay out of the pocket, but you still sponsor them at that point. How much time is put into the training for an employee taking that 1 year guided path with a coach or a trainer like Doug, or around the country? There's probably several hundred trainers, I would say, probably in the country, who are doing this type of thing. What is the time frame that they're actually taking the training and going into classes versus the time they're able to work for the company?
Yeah, so a minimum training requirement for at least a journeyman's license is 300 hours per year. So you have to equate that out and you spread it across the entire year. For our scheduling purposes for the PHCC of Orange County, Riverside, San Bernardino counties, we really only ask our students to come in 3 hours, one night a week. And that'll transpire through the entire school year. And by basically our school year starts in August and it ends in June. So it does go by pretty quickly, but it's not, I would say it's not overly hard, if you will, or
No,
difficult.
I mean, it's like going to a community college or something like that.
Yeah,
But you definitely know what you're going to college for, instead of something like a generic college. This is
exactly.
a very specific college where the end result is to get a great paying job with a great company that's going to be needing you. You're kind of assured to have employment as you're doing it and getting paid, for the most part, getting paid while you're going to school. Am I on the right track here?
Oh, absolutely. And there's certain not just the journeyman's license, but also there's certifications along the way that you'll earn by going to school, such as direct fusion technology certification, ProPress certification, even down to our chapter does CPR certification, which is great. I think everybody should be CPR certified. So there's all along the way you're earning those certificates that you can ultimately put on your resume. So. So in short, you don't have to finish the 4 year program to already see value added to your resume, if you will.
So Mike, of looking at the employees at the Family Plumber, so we're going to merge those, have these two worlds collide, and here we go. Of all the people who work at the Family Plumber, how many people have gone through the PHCC program in some form or fashion? Would you say?
So I do make it a requirement that everybody goes to PHCC. So we've actually, since we started with PHCC, we have graduated, and I may be incorrect 100%, but I know we've graduated 12 guaranteed through the 4-year program. That means that they stayed with us for a full 4 years and they completed their journeyman license exam. But for some of the older guys that have been with me and my dad for many years, we didn't end up sending them to school. It just didn't seem feasible. However, I will say, not just the 4-year programs offered by at least PHCC Orange County, but we do offer a code update class. So I have sent our more senior guys to these code update classes. I mean, every single year there's a new code book out, or at least every other year from my Atmo. And I think it's super important to at least stay up on some of the big major changes because these inspectors, they're pretty quick on the draw. They're actually, as crazy as it sounds, as AI is taking over, in multiple different sectors, inspectors are actually using AI to formulate whether or not something is actually up to code or not up to code. They're
That's
simply
crazy.
asking AI. And guess what? AI is actually pulling it from the most recent published code book online. So whereas we were always thinking, oh, inspectors are working 3-4 years behind us. No, they're actually working in present day. So it's so important to stay up to date on codes because they're staying up to date with technology. So
Yeah, I think a lot of times the plumber thinks the people at the city or the municipal or county is not up to date. And I think the AI is a great solution to make sure that
yeah.
they can get the qualifications that are needed to do the proper inspection. So PHCC isn't just for the newbies or people just getting into it. It also is for the kind of updating of the people who have been in it for a while. So even a guy like Uncle Joe would probably I've been doing plumbing for 47 years, I think it has been. So I probably could use a code update class. I'd probably be shocked, Mike, if I had to look at the new codes. That would
We'll
be in
we'll
there, right?
we'll battle it out. Why not we do Joe versus and then whoever at the next
You know
trade show?
what? I'm going to come over to the code update class and see how good I would do. I bet I would get at least 20%. I think I know the old school way, but I definitely have a lot to learn. Or I'd probably be ashamed of my update needed status for sure, no doubt about it. But Mike, I do want to talk about that. We are having a merge of some resources that Service MVP and Orange County is doing as well too with PHCC Orange. We're running a communication training class called Total Immersion, which is a 5-day class. We're the first time we've ever had it at a PHCC local, and this is going to be a great opportunity for anybody who's in PHCC or those who are seeking to get the quality of education that PHCC offers in a class there too for learning how to communicate both customer service, the science of pricing, and how to get the job management skills in a way. Does that make sense, Mike?
Oh, absolutely. And I can't think of anybody else better than you, Joe, and Service MVP to come in. Our core values are so similar when it comes to the association core values and what Service MVP stands for, which is you're an informationalist, so you're bringing information to the consumer. You're bringing it to them in a very direct way. And per your question, as you always sign, seal, deliver, what should we do? I think that
Right
that's
there.
so genius. I know. I think it's so genius, and I think it correlates so well with our PHCC contractor members. And so, yes, so I am excited. Actually, January 19th, the week of January 19th, we're gonna do this collaborative arrangement with Service MVP, and I'm super excited to be there. I'm super excited to see our members show up. It's open to non-members too, and it's open to anybody from Service MVP or anybody who might be listening to this, any kind of contractor out there that's looking to get a head start on some frontline communication processes for their company. So very excited for this. I can't wait, and hopefully we book it. I know we'll sell it out. I know it'll sell out quick. So make sure you guys get tickets to attend for sure.
Yeah, I think it will, because I think it merges the two things that are important: the technical part of the plumbing world and the heating and air conditioning, heating and cooling world, and the ability to communicate to consumers value, to get higher value. And of course, definitely, I think I'm going to feel like it's a home game because I no, I actually love the technical part of the job too. I was kidding about not being able to get the code updates. I think I would do pretty good. I think, you know what? I think I need to come to that class and just kind of see what, see, I feel like I have to go to it now. You gotta let me know when the next code update class is going to be, and I'll see if I can get there and see if I can pass the audition, you know?
We'll
But,
do it. We'll do
but I
it.
think we do, because it would help. And honestly, explaining technical problems and the solutions that go with them, it's the heart of the program, and the communication of those things is another whole part of it. It's one thing to know that stuff, another thing how to communicate it. That's really what the two things that we can say together will be accomplished at that training.
Yeah, I think we've talked about it before in the past, Joe, too, is that, at least from my perspective, plumbing's 50% physical, 50% mental. The mental aptitude side of things makes up for the physicality side of things. And when it comes to communication, it's very, very hard to train communication, but you deliver it in such a easy to digest format. So that's what I absolutely love about Service MVP and the way that you run shop over there. Plumbing's easy. I do feel like plumbing's easy to train on, but communication, everything, the front line, communication with a consumer and a customer, even sometimes vendors or your fellow colleagues, at your company, it's so hard to train in to people. And, so I commend you and Service MVP for all that you guys do. So it's gonna be a great class. I hope that everybody signs up for that, and we'll have it on our website, and yeah, we'll get registration up and going. We're gonna announce it at the gala as well, which I'm extremely excited about on December 12th. So this should be good. We'll have a good turnout for the event.
Mike, let's go back to the PHCC thing one more time. Now, although you talk about the contractor sponsoring or bringing people into that training, do you ever get like young people who are like, "Hey, how do I get involved with the plumbing industry?" Is that ever something that PHCC ever gets inquiries from the outside about? Hey, is there anybody who's you can tell me I want to be a plumber, I want to get in this business or heating and cooling business? Is that end of the boat ever happen there?
Oh, absolutely. It happens all the time, which is pretty. I actually enjoy that when I personally talk to, or our executive director talks to, a potential candidate that maybe has been in warehouse delivery or some other trade or something like that, and they're like genuinely interested in joining the trade school, but they don't otherwise have a job in the plumbing or HVAC space. Those types of potential students are great because guess what? We're going to find job placement for them like right away. I mean, our members are so eager to hire. And so the minute that they hear, oh, somebody came on board and they're interested in joining PHCC and they've never been in the industry before, that's green flags galore. I just want to hire somebody right away that has that type of initiative to take the initiative anyway, to try to seek information about PHCC and the trade school program. So we'll find job placement for a student like that, which I think is great. And I've seen it time and time again where they start with a PHCC contractor based off that inquiry, and they
Hmm.
spend 10 years with that contractor, and they become a master plumber. And it's genuinely, I love when that happens. I absolutely love it. And we'll always find a job for that individual 100%. So I encourage it. So.
So you never had a situation where there's too many plumbers that we have in the companies? All the PHCC companies aren't like, sorry, we're already filled up, or what do you say to that, Mike?
You know what? I always say we're always hiring. And the reason why we're always hiring is because we're always looking for talent that brings a new level of professionalism to our company. And so any PHEC, any contractor for that matter, should always be looking for the best representatives for their company. We have standards, KPIs that we want to hit. We have also just general, performance standards, how somebody communicates to customers. If we're seeing bad reviews all the time, we're going to be, trying to lift that person up. But at the same time, if we have an opportunity to bring somebody on that's eager to start right away, to, go to trade school, and that's something that they're truly passionate about, passion will trump anything else in this industry. If you're passionate about plumbing, everything else falls in line. The money, the know-how, the customer, the repeat customers for that matter. We have some of our guys that are consistently asked for or requested upon. We have customers waiting 2 to 3 weeks for some of our employees, and so that really passion trumps all in this industry. And I feel like you take the initiative to get started with PHCC on your own accord, any employer would want to hire you no matter what. I mean, it's inevitable. That's what we look for. I look for passion. I look for, great attitude. Like I said, the plumbing is easy to train. It's everything else beyond that, the passion and everything else. So
Just bring enthusiasm and desire and passion, and those things it'll get you on the first rung of the ladder. And then the instructors like Doug, the organizations, the PHCC companies will help you climb the rest of that ladder until you become that journeyman status or that master status eventually someday.
yep.
And it'll change your life. Honestly, it's changed so many people's lives. So, I mean, let's think of it this way, Mike. This is a dream for a lot of young people. Like, how do I get started in something like this? It's right here. It's open for you. How would you say both contractors and the younger people who aspire to be in this industry, what would they do to contact a PHCC organization just to make sure they know what to do, so they don't feel weird or awkward when they make the inquiry? Mike, could you give us a little heads up on that?
Yeah, absolutely. So PHCC is what's called a federated, association. So there's different levels to it. So you have a local chapter typically that's in a local area such as Orange County, Riverside, LA, San Diego, San Francisco. That's more of a local chapter standpoint. There's also a state chapter. So here in California, we have a state chapter association. And then on the national side of things, national kind of governs all of the states and the locals all together. But national is really where if you've never heard of PHCC at all, I would encourage you to go to phccweb.org, and you'll find at PHCC National every single state and local chapter representative, who to contact, how to get involved. So you can find your local chapter on the national website. So I would start with national, work your way down to local. Oftentimes, you can just Google search PHCC in your local area and it should pop up. But I would really kind of lean more so on the national website, because it does list all the local and the state associations, and it'll also tell you whether or not that local chapter has a trade school or not. There are some trade schools, or excuse me, some local chapters that do not have trade schools. Rather, they do online learning, or they utilize the national learning module, which is called PHCC Academy, that does technical training as well.
Wow, so many resources, Mike, to help people become successful. Mike, any final words before we wrap this episode up?
Honestly, my final words are always to commend you, Joe. I honestly, you're one of many that I respect in the industry, and you're tried and true to your word, and you're just genuine through and through. And I really, honestly, I appreciate that from a friend standpoint, and as well as, just from the industry. There are so many people that look up to you specifically in the industry, and they've seen, what you bring to their lives and how you've bettered their lives through proper communication training. And so I just want to end on that I really appreciate your friendship, and I appreciate everything that Service MVP does. At the end of the day, you guys do so much, both in the light and outside of the light, behind the scenes, all over the place. So I appreciate you guys for that. So.
Well, Mike, thank you so much. And not a day goes by where we here at Service MVP don't think about and appreciate our association with you and your team at the Family Plumber, as well as the PHCC group nationally and locally. So thank you so much, Mike, for being here. And we'll see you on the next episode, everyone. Have a great one.